Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so happy to be here with you with Pink and Main. Excuse my shaky arm for a minute. I just wanted to come on and show you my face and let you know I am still here. But we're going to switch over to the this camera right here so that you can see my desk. We're going to be playing tonight with the Fall Postage Stamps stamp set. And I think it's going to be really cute. So let me switch cameras and we'll jump on in. There we go. Okay, perfect. So like I was saying, um, this is the stamp set for tonight. This is the Fall Postage Stamps stamp set. It is absolutely adorable. You can see there's all different rectangle, square, and circle stamps, and then there are coordinating dies, and I found out something exciting tonight, which is that if you like these and you have or want these dies, there might be other products coming in the future that these dies will also work for. So I love that. I love a multi-use product. So I love when one die can work for many sets, perhaps, if that's where this is headed, and I'm only guessing that it is. I didn't get any more details, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that's what's coming. So that's so exciting. I do want to run through and say hi. So I see Miss Gail was here super early. Miss Linda's here. Cherry's here. Miss Darcel is checking in. Um, someone has her crafty courtyard kit. Um, let's see. Miss Connie's here. Virginia, Lisa, Michelle's here checking in with us. Let's see. Miss Jackie Ann's checking in. Sharon's checking in from Texas. Lori's here. Karen's here hanging out. Other Karen's here hanging out. Raquel's checking in with us. Oh, perfect, Virginia. I usually I watch those, but because I was away, I completely spaced and I did not. But I will go back and watch Michelle's video. If any of you also missed Michelle's video, she does make great release videos for each new release, walking through all of the products. So we should all go check that out after this live. All right, you can see I did also grab some supporting characters here. So I have the typewriter embossing folder. I thought this would be cute, right? Like somebody wrote a letter, cute to pair, and then obviously I had to grab the fall ginghams. So I'm not positive which one of those we're using yet. I want to kind of color all my stamps and then we'll figure it out. The vision that I have, I kind of want to lay these out and see how this is going to work. But the vision that I have is one solid layer of our typewriter paper. This is just a pre-scored side folding A2 card base. So a layer, probably a matte, let's be honest, and then a layer of our typewriter textured embossed, dry embossed paper. And then I want to add the stamps and I want to add different levels of flat and foam so it looks kind of like tiled. And I thought it would be fun to have like um, all different heights. So I'm kind of envisioning like, some kind of collage situation. Maybe 3 across like that. And then one, I don't see, I feel like I need some kind of plan, but also like I just also just want to have fun with it. And we do need a space for our sentiment. So that's like maybe a sentiment could go there. And then one more of these, something like that. So I think I need, look, if we have extra, we'll just add them on the inside. How about that? Since I already did make a card base. So we'll just make 2 of each. I don't think we'll need more than that. So let's go through and pick, yeah, Virginia, I love the idea of having the one die set for many things. And thank you, Karen. I did do my first set of fall nails yesterday, and I'm very excited for them. Okay, so we need 2 of these long ones, and we only have 2 to pick from. So I guess we're doing both of those. We need our 2 short ones. And then this is where we have some options. So I think I want pumpkins and the fox. I guess I should probably do this way. That would make a lot more sense, huh? Even though you guys won't be able to see them the exact same. I'll be able to see the leaf one can definitely go either way. But the acorns are not as cute. Well, they're not bad. Sideways. Right, like that. And then we can put our sentiment here on a little mini strip. I think that looks pretty cute. Okay, well, then that's what we're working with. Except that they're, yeah. I like that better. And then happy mail can go right there. Okay, do that. All of these to the side. I'm going to use Copics because this is definitely a more detailed, smaller group of stamps. Hey, Irma. Oh, Gail, don't worry, you didn't miss much. Hey, Donna. Darcel, that's what I was going for. Dunkin' gets pumpkin tomorrow, and then Starbucks gets pumpkin next Wednesday. But I will definitely be at Dunkin' tomorrow morning, ready for my pumpkin coffee with zero shame. Let's see how we can squish these in to get as many as possible. See if I can manage to only use this one scrap. Oh, my light just got brighter. I think I need a new light. There we go. It's like Tetris. Okay. Right, Gail's a pumpkin spice girl. She's gonna be out with me drinking some pumpkin. It will still be iced because it did cool down here, but it's not quite um, hot coffee weather for me yet. I drink iced coffee until the bitter end of like until it's fully winter. I do also want to throw it out there that I will have something very exciting being announced on my own channels. So if you aren't already following me, either subscribed on YouTube or following me on Instagram, now would be a really good time, a cool time to do that. The links are in the description here. If you're only here for the pink and mane, I understand. But if you like what I do and you like my coloring, um, now would be a good time to make sure that you're following other places so you can see fun announcements that might be coming this week. Okay. It is like a little puzzle. Virginia, that's crazy. And I think I saw Karen said she's never had coffee at all before. That's I can't imagine living that. I'm a full addict. They definitely shifted, which stinks because we had them like perfectly mapped out. I think they still look pretty good. Let me just get this little hedgehog one more time. He looks a little light, but I kind of don't mind if they're just like barely off. I think we'll be able to color it in a way that it looks good. Happy belated birthday, Gail. Well, we're really belated if it was the 7th. Clean these off. Sorry for the squeaks. Okay. I was looking, the design team came up with some very cool ideas with this stamp set. I know somebody used gold embossing powder and like embossed and inked all of these up instead of like coloring them, and it was beautiful. So that's something to think about too. Definitely check out even just the listing image. The listing on the website has a bunch of different inspiration. Um, and then also check out um, Pink and Main's Instagram. Okay, I think I want the border frame part of all of these to stay white. But I'm not going to leave it completely actually white because then I'm worried it'll look like it got forgotten. So we're going to come in with just a little bit of a warm gray on like the corners. I'm definitely going to need to replace this light. Sorry guys if it's like flashing weird for you too. And there wouldn't necessarily be shading here. These are flat. It's more that I just want to break up this solid white area. I'm going to come in with some W00 and really pull that color out. But I think having the outer edges being a little more plain and then letting the inside be like a huge pop of color would be really fun. Because I don't think I want to go like monochromatic. I think I want like a full range of pretty fall colors for these stamps. You can see that just kind of knocked it back down a little bit. So I swear my house is not hot, but like right here is hot. How is everybody's weekend? What have we been up to? Let's start with some leaves. For these, I think we're going to do like one, maybe two color blends just because there's not a lot of room here. Hey, Mom. And some R59. And then some R35. Yeah, Mom started up new dance classes. Very exciting. Let's do some YGs. Some YG 99. And YG 97. And that's some orange. And then maybe we'll do like a golden background around this one. Gail said, have you been to a wedding? Now all you do is jump. Oh my God, that's so funny. I have not, in fact, been to a wedding in a while, but that's really funny, Gail. All right, let's do a little YR18 and then YR14. I want, I think, a red border around this too, but we'll wait until after our yellow is done because I don't want the red to bleed. So we're going to go in with some Y30s, and we're going to make a little bit of like a vignette style kind of ombre. So all the way around the outer edges with our Y35. How did you guys feel about the premiere last week? I don't intend on doing those often. I really don't see a time in any of the near future where we would need that. But I was curious if anybody thought it was acceptable or if next time it's better for me to just reschedule. Also, I feel like there were people who didn't realize that I was me. Like maybe I should have logged in as Pink and Main in the comments instead of under my my YouTube account. Okay, there we go. There's our little ombre with our Y35 and 32. I'm going to leave all of these colors that I've used so far, I'm going to leave over here to the side so that we can, once we have our like fall rainbow situation, we can go back and use that over and over. All right, Virginia said it was a little fast paced, but not terrible. Yeah, don't worry, Karen. I like Me Live better too. Like I said, I don't intend on that being an issue. All of my other trips and things for the rest of the year that I'm aware of are on the weekend, so it shouldn't be an issue. But also just good to know in case it ever comes up. All right, there's our little frame. I like that. All right, for our little hedgehog here, he needs a fall blue sky. So I'm going to come in with a little B91, which is a little more of like a gray blue. It's much less saturated than our other blues. We'll just give him a very simple sky back there. And those little white clouds can get some little shadows on the bottom part, but we really aren't going to go crazy with those. Let's bring in our same YGs. I'm also going to bring in, they're very similar, so I'm actually going to bring in 95, and we're just going to use 97 and 95 down here. I think 99 is a little dark for grass during a bright, crisp fall day. Oh no. I guess we're going with a darker color on that frame. Got a little outside the lines. All right, we need a hedgehoggy brown. We need two. We need a darker brown and a lighter brown. I think we're gonna stick with some E30s. So I'm gonna grab 39, 35, 33, and 31. We'll do his outer spikes darker. Just kind of flicking that darker color 39 in the middle of each of those little spikes. And then we'll also tap just a tiny bit under his mushroom. Then I'm going to fill that in with the 35. And pull that color down just a little bit. And on his body, we'll go in with our 33. On the outside, and then this lower part. And then 31. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Then we'll come back in with our darkest red, that 59 again, for the mushroom cap. And just a tiny touch of our W3. And you know what, we'll add a little bit of that under the cloud since that's the gray we used before. We'll just stick to the gray. We won't pull in any more of our, there he is, of our neutral. We'll just stick with warm grays. Okay, so now browns. Maybe he gets a little dark orange. Go. Very cute. All right, we have our little acorn stamp. We're going to come in with those same browns that we just used and some of the same leaf colors as well. I'm just picking like the outer sections for our shading. And maybe just some orange and yellow on this one. So that Y35 again. And do a little green background for this one. Just one color this round. Going in with that YG95. Just doing kind of little sketchy motions with just the tip of my marker. That way I can kind of bop around all those little details. And about right yellow again for this one. Let's bring in a little bit more of that warm gray for our little mouse here. He's cute. He could be cute gray. W5 to W3. Oh, thanks, Diana. Oh, and Jackie Ann used to have a hedgehog. That's so fun. I can't remember who, but I definitely know that one of my friends in like high school or middle school had a hedgehog for sure. I know I've held one and like not in a like classroom setting. There's our little mouse. I'm gonna switch it up just a little to bring in a pink for these ears for like a more fall kind of feeling pink. I do like the R80s. Okay, and our little mouse has a little cloudy sky up behind him too. So we'll come back in with our 90 B91 blue. And this pumpkin is going to be orange. Kind of focus most of that shadow on the like edges of each kind of pumpkin section and then towards the bottom. And just a little bit of our darkest brown there. I will need to bring in a super dark gray for his nose. I don't like pink noses. They creep me out. Okay, and he's gonna get a red again. And our pumpkins will get a green. All right. For these pumpkins, I think I'm gonna go in with the just the lighter yellow for the background. Go. Keeping it pretty simple. Again, for these pumpkins, we're going to add our shading on kind of either side of this center section here, and then adding some shading from the bottom and the top in the middle. And even though this bigger stamp has like more room than the rest, it's still pretty small. So I still think a two-color blend for how much else we have going on this card is just fine. Stems and leaves. And then we'll go in with our darkest, that YG99 for our frame. Always suggest rotating or moving your paper around as needed so that you're not putting your hand into awkward positions trying to make stuff work. Let's do a little light red background for our box here, since we haven't done a red background yet. Probably should have waited to do this till after everything else was colored, but we're already started. And once that ink is saturating the paper, you want to work quick to get everything blended so you don't end up with any streaking. So we're just going to commit. I also really love that he kind of goes over the edge of that frame. It's really cute. We're going to add our darker orange to the bottom sections of his face, the bottom, his tail, bottom of his legs, under his little scruff. Hey, Melissa. Oh my gosh, camping in the rain, hiding under a trailer canopy. You're crazy. That's dedication. I don't think I would even be here camping in the rain under a trailer cover. I'm gonna bring in one lighter shade of orange just for this guy at YR12 because I really don't want him to be dark. And then I'm gonna also use some of that E31 that we used for our lightest color on our hedgie to just streak in a little bit of color around the light parts of his face. Some of that W00 instead of colorless blender too around the eyes will help kind of knock that back. And even a little of our R83 from the mouse's ears. All right, I think I want him to have that Y35 frame. And then maybe some dark green leaves. So jumping straight from 99 all the way down to 95, which will give us a really high contrast. Here we go. Very cute. I'm not loving the white outer edges now, but I think once I see them against the dry embossed paper, I'm going to like them a lot more. So I'm going to leave them for now. We can always add color if we decide it needs it later. We won't be able to take it away. So let's get these cut out and see how things are looking and pick up pattern paper too. And I think that will help my brain decide what we're thinking. All right, so we have our postage dies, which if anyone came late, Melissa, this one's for you. Michelle and Libby both gave us a little heads up that there will be more sets coming that work with this die set. So if you love postage stamps or you were on the fence about this set, but you know you're gonna, you know, want other stamp sets, postage stamp sets in the future, they're gonna supposedly all coordinate with one die set, which is just lovely. Okay, there's our first round. And I love that, you know, there's only the 4 dies in here anyway. So it's not like you need a zillion, even though there's so many stamps in this stamp set. These are going to have to go through one at a time. I stamped them too close. Definitely don't want to force it and put 2 dies touching or one like a little bit overlapping. You will bend your dies. She says 100% from experience. Just like when I tell you, make sure you don't put your embossing folder in open side first. From experience. I make these mistakes, so hopefully you don't have to. I have snapped a die before because there was another die overlapping it and I forced it through my machine anyway. There we go. How cute. Oh, Michelle said she took notes. Love it. Okay, this can go trash. We can zoom out a little and then let's take a look. I was leaning brownstone. That's what I put in the description for our background. But you know what? I also bought Coffee Shop and we haven't used it yet. And then we also have like wildflowers. I think any of those 3 could be really cool for our dry emboss layer. And then we also have to decide which gingham. The blue, I think, is not the right blue. Neither is the teal for what we use. So I think blue is out. Purple's definitely out. So I think we're down to red, green, yellow, and orange. What do we think? Brownstone and green. Brownstone and orange. I don't love the orange as much. Kind of leaning brownstone and yellow. Kind of like brownstone and yellow. Let's see. Let's get those trimmed up because even if I change my mind, having them trimmed won't hurt anything. She says no green. Karen says maybe orange. So if this is what we do, the brownstone's going to be dry embossed as a smaller layer, and then the gingham's going to be the outer like matte. It should be 5.5. Yeah, okay, by 4 1/4. Brownstone and yellow. Okay, that's what I'm thinking too. So let's do, I'm gonna go the like 3 7/8. It's gonna shrink because we're gonna put it in the embossing folder. What's the other math? 3 7/8. So that's a quarter and a bit. So quarter and a bit. So 5 1/8. We might trim it down even more. My concern is if I take too much away and then the stamps don't fit in there. So I'm gonna pop it into the typewriter embossing folder, and I'm using one of the lines of text to line this up pretty good, I think. And he's going to go at extra hinge side first, as we just discussed. And if we can trim out more to see more of the plaid without sacrificing the space, we will. So there's our very fun dry embossed. Okay, so I already forgot how I had everything. Something like that, right? And then our sentiment here. So we can definitely take this smaller, right? Like we can cut at least that next line of text off. So then what are you? I'll do a little from each side. So 3 1/2. I wasn't contemplating the across part. Do I have room across? I didn't even think about that. All right, so 3 1/2. So that's each side. 4 3/4. Should be right? I might end up inking this up. My only concern is I don't want to take away too much from the stamps because they're so cute. Love it. There's a little spot for our happy mail. Oh yeah, that's very cute. In person, you can see we're going to add a foam and everything, so I'm not going to worry about inking it for today. Darcel, exactly. This comes together. This comes together so nice. Sorry, I was reading multiple comments and it smushed together in my head. This works so well for back to school too. You're totally right. Michelle's saying maybe try a higher contrast. Let's see what it looks like with the orange. Do you like the orange better or the yellow better? Also, I like this better than these two being the same. I had the pumpkin and the fox together down here. I like this zigzaggy better. We said yes and no. We like orange or yellow? That's the question at hand. Orange or yellow? Either way, I can go ahead and get this popped. Michelle said try green. See, I don't love the green. I think it loses some of the fall. Yeah, I don't love the green. I think either the orange or the yellow. That's red and yellow. Or red and I don't like the red. Orange or yellow. Orange. I think orange is winning. I like the orange. I'm open to orange. I'm going to need more of this paper pad too. Orange, orange. Okay. 4.5, 5.5 quarter. Get our right, Darcel, that's how I felt. Definitely not the red. Because the red of that gingham is a different red than what I was using. That's why. It's like a very, I don't know, tomatoey. It's a different undertone for sure. Oh, sorry, Mom. It's too late. It's already on there. You typed too slow. Okay, so I do want these, like I was saying, I want these staggered. I don't want them all the same height. So I think I want this big guy popped up. Jackie Ann says she's still sticking with her green vote. Then pumpkins will get popped. I guess these guys can go flat. I was contemplating even popping something up with like double foam, maybe our sentiment. I want to make sure I squish this in pretty good because the texture on our folder can make it not fully sit flat. All of these little stamps. I think that looks so cool with some of them popped up and then some of them flat. And then our sentiment, we're going to have to put on a strip because, again, the embossing folder has added all that texture. Happy Meal. First class, that's kind of fun. Maybe special delivery. That's not going to fit great. Maybe first class. If we put it on like a little sentiment strip. Have those. Accidentally ordered more of the size that I already had, which was a little frustrating. My mistake. Hey, Christian. Okay, let's see. First class. Right, like that. I think this is pretty cute. Let's try. Stamp it out first. I think on white, get another scrap of my Copic Xpress-It because we're gonna want the same white undertone. But I think I want this in a color. Let's try. What did I do? Let's try construction, but it might be a little white. It's cute. There's also the like cancellation bars in here. I don't really want to cover up all of the coloring we just did, but that is a cute touch. I do like that in general. Cancellation bars. All right, I'm going to line the inside of my banner here the best that I can. I have no idea if the bars on either side of that are gonna make it or not. Maybe we can do the cancellation bar and like also in a color. So it like just got the edge of that bar. I think it looks so cute. Right, you can kind of see that on the edges. I know that like first class isn't really technically like an actual sentiment, but I think this is definitely a good one where you can put the sentiment on the side, like a real sentiment. We're gonna cut some tiny, it's too tiny strips of foam off the end. That. Yeah. Yeah, so I like the first class. Yeah, I don't think I want to do any cancellation bars. This is what I'm talking about though, in case, I mean, you can just like stamp them wherever. But I think that I like that a lot. I am going to come in with some white gel pen while I'm thinking of it. Where's my- I can't wait to see what you guys all do with these. I think they're going to be amazing. Let's go white highlight crazy. Why not? Right? Because they're not meant to be realistic. They're stamps. Very whimsically illustrated. We can have a million highlights if we want. There we go. Super cute. Oh, I like that. And I really do like the orange. I don't think yellow would have been bad um, by any means, but I do really like the orange. Gail, I'm really fine with that. I vote as long as you're giving credit when you can to whoever inspired your card. I really don't have a problem with people casing or copying or whatever. Um, sorry, now I don't have flies. I just have a tiny moth. So I can't win. All right. Hey, Sherry. I'm glad you got home safe. Yes, please watch the replay. Hi, Denise. Thank you. And Michelle said, don't forget to like the video. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Helps the algorithm to push us to find more people. Thanks, Karen. I really like this one too. I think it turned out cute. All right, friends. So Donna will be live tomorrow night. I think she's working on something possibly interactive. Don't hold me to that. And then Thursday, I'm going to prepare ahead of time some or two different houses with our house die, and then we will decorate them. So I have the houses pre-made, ready to go, and we're going to decorate them, one for fall and one for Halloween with that new add-on set. So we're going to that's what we're going to do on Thursday. Hey, Aline, I'm so sorry you missed it, but I'm so excited for you and your son and his fiance. That's amazing. The replay will be here. Those phone calls are for sure. Hopefully a once in a lifetime deal. So congratulations to him and you, and I hope you're excited. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me. Make sure you check out Donna's video or her live tomorrow, and then I will see you guys back here on Thursday. If you missed my little self promo earlier, if you enjoy watching me and my coloring, and you don't already follow me either on Instagram or on YouTube on my channel, those links are down in the description. Now would be a really good time for you to follow me in other places if you like exciting news. So I will see you guys back here on Thursday. I hope that you have a great day tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. And until next time, happy crafting. Have a good night, guys.